Hi, my name is Núñez, and today I will present you my blog, which contains all of the activities that I did through my English 3 semester. Upon entering, you will find this first section called Home. Here you can see a picture of me, my name, my birthday, and a text that says that I am an international affairs student. You can also see an image of my school's logo. Down here you can see a little introduction and a link to my CV. Here is an image of New York. I'd really love to visit New York because I like the style of the city, and those are my Twitter and Roblox profiles. Here you can see more information about my school. I uploaded some photos and the exact location on Google Maps. In this infographic, you can see the most common jobs you could obtain with an international affairs degree. Personally, I would love to work as a diplomatic in Germany. And to make it easier for you, I organized my blog and placed hyperlinks to access this section. So let's go to the assignment section. Assignments. In the assignment section is an image that welcomes you, and after it you can see an introduction to this part of the blog. To make it more interesting and funnier, I uploaded this hilarious image that made me laugh, and here you can see all of the assignments that I did through my English semester. I think the assignments were very useful because I learned a lot of things, and here are Nell and Marco's introductory videos, which I found very interesting because I could know many things about them. Marco and Nell are doing their social service with Mr. Bueno with the purpose of being a technical assistant in the area of logistics in the 2022-1 semester of English 3. I was very surprised because Marco has an excellent accent, and as you can see here, he perfected his accent while he was living in Texas. On the other hand, I was surprised because Anel has worked with Amazon. Here's the speaking activity that I did with my breakout groups partners, and here's an infographic about present perfect, simple, and continuous. Here's my results from the grammar test, and here you can see my example of a visa format. Then here's my CV. You can see in it all the things that I've done. For example, here's a marketing certificate that I got recently. It took me 3 semesters and a lot of work, but I feel proud about it. You can also see that I am studying international affairs and that I am learning German, which I think it's pretty similar to English in a lot of aspects. Here's the modified conversation in passive voice. I wrote a very funny story, by the way. And you can also see the passive voice presentation that I made with my partners. Here's the backshifting explanation, and you can see here our reported question practice. Here's the reported speech activity about the democratic debate, in which my partners and I had some problems because we didn't understand perfectly the structure. But we managed to complete the activity and said that it worked. You can see here the explanation of used to, be used to, and get used to. This was a very interesting activity because I learned the use of these variations and now I use them correctly. Here's the indefinite pronouns conversation that I did with my breakout groups partners, and we had a lot of fun choosing the topic of the conversation and organizing the dialogues. Here's an exercise that I found very interesting because I love to think about what would happen if things were different, like in parallel universes. So this exercise was one of my favorites. I'm always asking those questions to my dad. Things like, hey dad, what do you think would happen if the dogs could fly? Or what do you think would happen if we had 3 hands and 4 arms? And here you can see my infographic and the links to the videos in which we based to create the answers to those questions. Here's the second conditional exercise, and choose these 2 songs to the exercise. The first one is When Stefani's Song, and the second is Paul McCartney's Song. You can see here the sentence transformation exercise. Here's the second conditional rules and some practice sentences. And here you can see the 10 questions in second conditional that I did with my partner Diego. And here's another second conditional questions that we did in teams on GatherTown. I'll tell you about GatherTown later. Here you can find another section in my blog. This is a strange section of the blog in which I uploaded all the things that didn't necessarily have to be on the blog, but I decided to upload them so it's more complete. You can see a lot of documents that I uploaded to Classroom. So for example, you can find in this section passive voice practice, certification listening sample, and another activities that I did during my English semester. For example, what are the different cultures accustomed to? Essay draft, and blog team review. And here I wanted to tell you about GatherTown, breakout groups, and Roblox. I think Mr. Bueno's classes were always very fun and dynamic. Doing activities in places like TikTok, Roblox, and GatherTown seemed very innovative and dynamic to me. I had a lot of fun being with my classmates on Roblox and pretending like we are on a university campus. But I think my favorite platform was GatherTown because it was so visually appealing, simple, and you could walk into rooms where you only listen to people who were close to you. Something that always made me laugh was that Mr. Bueno was going to sit at a desk as if we were in face-to-face classes. Here you can find another section, listen activities. I added all the listening activities in this section of the blog. We listen to a lot of different accents. And personally, I think that the most difficult accent are the South African and Scottish accent because they are not very clear and you have to listen carefully or you won't understand anything. I think that listening to different types of accent was very useful because I learned to listen carefully and with attention all the words in different pronunciations. And here you can find the different listenings and my answers to the different questions of the listenings. And yeah. Then here you can find my favorite section, TikTok. In this section, you can see screenshots of all the TikToks that I did during the course. All my TikToks were about fun facts about famous movies. Although I also did a couple of TikToks about serious fun facts. And it was a lot of fun for me because I had never used this app before. However, it was also somewhat complicated because there were things that I didn't fully understand. Despite that, I had a lot of fun choosing the audios for my videos and selecting the data along with the images. And finally, here you can find a little video recording my TikTok's account. Sometimes the surprise lead a twist to the plot. Other times they're the protagonist of the most aware moment by the spectator. And often they seal a happy ending. Hi everyone, today I'm bringing more facts about your favorite movies. Orson Welles directed much of Strange's Game from a wheelchair after... Are you ready for the horror special? During the next few weeks, only curious facts about the films that have terrified us the most will be uploaded. Prepare.
Hello everyone, today I will tell you fun facts about your favorite horror movies. The Exorcist was the first horror film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar. Robert Englund was not the
Next, you can find a Twitter section. In this section of the blog are all the tweets I made. I focused a lot of international issues, mainly politics, but I also talked about health issues, such as vaccination, and social issues such as the LGBT community. And Marco and Danielle always respond my tweets with very interesting comments on the subject. I think they are very aware of what is happening in the world and always have an opinion on any subjects. And here you can find the last section in my blog, class schedule. And here you can see the schedule of my classes. I decided to add this section so that I will have something different and to be able to organize myself because I tend to forget a lot of things. And this was a good way to remember what classes I had. Well, finally, I want to thank you for having seen my blog. I also want to thank Mr. Bueno, Anel, Marco, Diego, and each of my classmates for their support. Goodbye.